Okay, what's going on YouTube? It's Preps Hunter back for another video, and I haven't made a video in a while. I make vlogs all the time. I just am too lazy to edit them and post them. But today's gonna be a rough one. Sorry if I kind of lose it or break down a little bit. It'll be kind of hard. It's a rough topic to talk about, but I feel like the story should be told from Andrew's story should be told from my perspective and what I remember from that night, what happened, what everything that just occurred that night. So here we go. The it was October 14th, and that night I actually remember getting a call from Andrew, probably 2 hours before it happened. He was asking for my PlayStation login code so he could play like the new Call of Duty because he didn't have it and I had it, and I told him to go do something because I didn't want to give it to him when I was at my girlfriend's soccer game, so I was just like, Andrew, just go do something. He's like, all right, fine. He was irritated with me, but I'm glad I kind of ignored him because if I would have given him my login code, he would have stayed at home and probably wouldn't have made it. But I told him that. I said, Andrew, just go have fun and all that stuff, be safe. And he was like, okay, I love you, Hunter. And I said, I love you too, Andrew. And then a couple hours go by, and it's probably around 12 when I got a call from Elijah asking for Andrew's login or his password for his phone so he could call his dad because he's at the hospital. So I gave it to him, and I asked why he was at the hospital, and he said he just had headaches. So I was like, oh, okay, it's one of those things again where he has another headache. And I was like, well, he always told us that he had headaches, and we just assumed that it was just a headache and that it would go away. But little did we know, if we would have paid attention and actually listened to him, then maybe we could have done something. But I can't put the blame on myself. But and then once that happens, and then about 15 minutes go by, and his dad gets there, and he calls me and he says, "Hey Hunter, Andrew's at the hospital right now, and he's being flown to St. Joseph's because he's getting ready to have emergency surgery." And I was honestly just shocked. I had no idea what was going on. I kind of just fell to the floor and just thought it was a dream. But I immediately got Caitlin up, and then she drove me to St. Joseph's so we could be there and hopefully, yeah. But once I got there, I went up to the 4th or 5th floor or whatever, and I walked to the lobby, and I saw Lorena, Andrew's mom, on the ground crying, and I saw Berto, Andrew's dad, leaning up against the wall crying, and I just remember falling to the ground with Lorena and just crying and not even knowing what happened, but I was just crying because I know something was bad. And then we were actually somehow got there before Andrew did, which makes no sense, but that's another story. After he got there, they allowed us to go back and see him, and just seeing him on that hospital bed, having continuous seizures, and seeing someone that you love just lifeless on a hospital bed like that is it's not something you want to see. But I just remember putting my hand on him and just praying and asking for strength, to give him strength, to give all of us strength, and just please just keep him safe from whatever he was going through. I had no idea what was happening. And then 2 hours had gone by, and he still hadn't went into surgery, and the CT scan finally came back, and my dad actually saw it, and he said it was probably one of the worst ones that he's seen, and the bleed was covering pretty much the whole left side of his brain, and that's when I lost it. I immediately jumped to conclusions and just thought he wasn't going to make it, and that I had just lost my brother. But then I remembered I can't give up hope. I couldn't ever give up on that kid, because if that was me in that situation, I know Andrew would be right by my side, never, not giving up, not even having a slightest doubt in his mind ever. But when it had time to for him to go to surgery, he was still having seizures, and we all watched the doctors take him back to the room, and we just prayed and wished for the best, because we were told that he wasn't supposed to make it. And just hearing that and knowing that your best friend, brother, that you've been best friends with since 7th grade has a high chance of not making it, it kind of sucks. But they told us that it could take up to 4 hours for the surgery, and so we waited in the waiting room. I'm pretty sure all of us filled up the whole waiting room, and we waited, and no one could sleep. We were all just shocked and didn't really know what to do. But after the 4 hours went by, one of the nurses came in and told us that Andrew made the surgery and he lived, and that the next few days for Andrew are going to be very crucial to his survival, that we need to be very quiet and limited amount of people to go see him and all that stuff. But I don't think I left the hospital for 3 days. I just stayed in the waiting room for 3 days and was there with them. But then they, I believe he had 3 more surgeries after that, which is insane. And the kid is an absolute fighter for making all 3 or 4 surgeries. Just gotta thank God for that. When those few days were happening, when it was crucial to his survival, it's just, you just don't know how fast life changes. All I really remember from those first few weeks is just having memories of us just rushing through my head and wondering if I'll ever get him back, and why this happened to him, and just a whole bunch of thoughts went through my head. And yeah, but after we knew he was going to survive and all that stuff, and he wasn't progressing to the first 3 weeks, he was just holding his own. He wasn't breathing on his own, just laid there lifeless. Once we moved him to Select, that's when the progress started happening. We finally got him off the ventilator, and he started breathing more on his own, and that's when I knew for 100% fact that he was going to be perfectly okay. I had no doubt in my mind then. I mean, I had no doubt that when he made the surgery that he was going to make it, but I absolutely had no doubt. All the doubt was cleared out of my head once I knew he was breathing on his own. And then, oh Lord, and then a few more weeks go by, and we move him to this to some rehab place, and I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best, but for the people that cared, I thank you for taking care of my brother and doing everything that you can to just be there for him and all that stuff. He had started to make sounds, and we thought he was going to start talking soon, which was crazy because it had only been a month or 2 after. But he didn't receive any help when he had started to make sounds, and he got frustrated and just blocked that part out and started to work on something else. If he would have gotten the help that he needed, he would have, I feel like he would have been talking by now and all this stuff, but everything happens for a reason. So yeah, now he's moved to this amazing facility. It's a blessing that we somehow got him here. Someone reached out to me on Twitter saying I had posted about Andrew, and she reached out to me on Twitter saying, contact me. My facility specializes in brain injuries, and I was like, it blew my mind because it was God watching out for all of us, and for Andrew to get him the help that he needs and people that actually care for him. And here we are today. He's at this amazing facility where he gets PT 3 times a day, and everyone cares for him, and he's getting work done, and he's not just laying in his bed, and he's outside, and he's being pushed around in his wheelchair. And it's just amazing to see the progress that kid's been going through. He's truly a fighter and an amazing person, and I can't wait till he walks out of that place and he's talking and doing all these other things again. And but that's my side of the story. I didn't really want to go in too much detail because I knew I would have probably lost it. I know I choked up a little bit, but I tried to hold it together. But Andrew is going to make it. I fully believe that he's going to be perfectly okay. Not a doubt in my mind. His birthday's on Thursday next week. He'll be 19, and I truly believe that on his birthday or his birthday party, he's going to say something. I've said that since a couple weeks ago. I said, watch, Mom. Andrew's going to be talking by his birthday, or on his birthday, and that's what I truly believe. And he's starting to make sounds now. PT's been working on him saying ooh and ah, and today actually, his grandma called Lorena and said, you need to get over here now. Andrew's making like sounds like he's about to talk, and he's been making the ooh and ah sounds. So it's truly amazing to just have an amazing God that just blesses Andrew and just heals him every single day, little by little, and baby steps. But that's gonna do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It gives me a little perspective on my side, and I could go more in depth, but trust me, I have lots of things to say about it, but I didn't know if I wanted to make such a long video. But thank you guys for watching. This is Andrew Ochoa's story. Continue to believe, continue to pray, continue to do all those things that you do for him. And I thank you guys, and 1AO.